is the antithesis of the principles that universities were founded on.
Joining us now, the man, the professor behind that tweet, University of Alabama assistant professor in the Department of Geological Sciences, Dr. Matthew Wielicki. Professor, Dr. Wielicki, thank you so much for being here. Just tell us what you've experienced that made you leave teaching and what you hope to do in the future to maybe change what's happening in education.
Thanks, Dagan. Thanks for having me. So I just want to clear up one thing real quick, is that
Sure.
the decision on my employment with the university was made quite a while ago. We had already purchased our home in Colorado last year. So this isn't something that I'm doing right away. I just wanted to be clear because there was some misinformation of why I was planning on leaving. And I also want to highlight, like you said, that this isn't unique to the University of Alabama in any means. This is an academia issue. This is a federal funding agency issue. And as you both probably know more than I, this is a corporate issue now. And what we're seeing is that more and more of the decisions that we are making are being framed in this lens of diversity, equity, inclusion. And unfortunately, I argue that the outcomes, although maybe the intentions are good, and I understand that it's a noble cause, I get it, but sometimes that you can have good intentions and poor outcomes. And I think that what we're seeing is that the students are not having better outcomes. I think that this is alienating students. I think that they are walking on eggshells. They're interacting less. This isn't breeding the culture that we wanted in academia. I didn't realize that me speaking out about this was going to become as big news as it did. So I don't really know how to change this. Unfortunately, as you know, this is a huge industry. Many billions of dollars are being spent on this. So this is going to be an uphill battle, but I'm hoping that bringing some light to this and discussing this in a calm manner and discussing some of the outcomes that maybe people don't realize will hopefully start to get folks to start to rethink some of these.
You know, Professor, the last time I looked, the University of Alabama, in a state that's pretty conservative. And if this is happening there, it must be happening everywhere. But I wonder on campus, you mentioned the kids. I mean, are the students, are they in favor of it? Is the faculty in favor of it? The board, the president? What's happening on the campus itself is pushing this ideology?
Yeah, Sean, that's a really great question. So I think that it's complex. I think part of what we're experiencing is that the universities are beholden to federal funding agencies, particularly in the STEM fields. So as local and state funding has decreased in universities, what you've seen is tuition rise, but also their reliance on federal funds. And in order to receive these federal funds, you have to tote the line of this ideology. Otherwise, you don't get the grants, and thus the universities rely on that money. And so they're somewhat being forced into this. I think you're right that there's probably less of this in Alabama than in most other institutions. Many of the emails I've received say, oh, you think you got it bad? Listen to this. And so this is everywhere in academia. And I think it's hurting students much more than it's helping.
Professor, in what way, and to your point, diversity, equity, inclusion, training, particularly in the corporate world, it's been going on since the 60s, and there's not a lot of research about the impact of it. And in fact, the research that has been done found that it has the opposite impact that it's supposed to have, that it alienates dominant groups, that it, as you pointed out. So what are your next steps, and how has it hurt education in your experience?
So the way that it hurts education, I think, is it reduces collaboration. And I really think that the university community advances by collaboration. It's our exchange of ideas, working together, getting people from different backgrounds to come together and work together. And what I've seen happening in both the students and the faculty is that there is an anxiety that is building, especially in the particularly what would be the underrepresented group or the non-minority group, that they're scared. They fear that if they start working and collaborating with some of these folks, that if they say the wrong thing, if they misspeak accidentally, anything, no matter if their intent was nice, that they could be labeled something, whatever derogatory term is the flavor of the month at the time. And what it ends up doing is it breeds people to isolate themselves. They end up not wanting to collaborate. It's not worth the risk of possibly being labeled something. And so you see a reduction in collaboration. And I just hope that, so there's possible ways that we've been talking a little bit, that there could be legal challenges that could help fight this, because as you're required to get grants to get tenure, and if the federal agencies require you to do this, there may be some compelled speech arguments and First Amendment arguments that could be made. But the truth is this is going to be an uphill battle, and I intend to keep thinking about ways to change it and make it better. But the truth is, I don't really have a good answer for you about that yet.
Professor Wielicki, thank you so much.
Thanks for speaking out.
Matthew
Awesome.
Wielicki.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Dagan.
Thank you.
All right.